Guys, so this video is going to be talking about the differences between the Colt and the Remington revolvers, at least for me, and my preference between the two, and the reason why I don't like one or don't like the other. And I'm going to start with the 1858 brass Remington Bison that I have here. Now I have a sheriff's model and I have a normal one as well, but this one is just one that's never been in my videos, so I just decided to show the Bison. Now the reason why I want to do this video is because I have posted comments on other people's videos saying, well, I don't like the Remingtons, I like the Colts better, and blah blah blah. And it seems like there are a lot of die-hard Remington owners out there who prefer the Remington over the Colt, and that's fine. But this video is for that, and the reason why I prefer the Colt. And I'm going to start with the Remington here. And the reason why I don't like the Remington is because it's just heavy. Now this one is obviously a little more heavy because it's 18-inch barrel, and of course it's brass. Well, the Colt over here is brass as well, so the Remington weighs more than the Colt does. Even if you compare steel to steel, the Remington still weighs more. I don't like a big, huge, heavy gun. They're already heavy as it is, and for self-defense purposes, if you had no other choice to carry a gun, like if you had a felony or some kind of record and they're not allowing you to have guns, I would carry a Colt. Most people I see online, like for example, one of my subscribers, and I subscribe to his channel, his name is Drizzo. He prefers Colts. He has a 1860 snub-nosed Colt, which is what he carries. And I imagine the reason why he carries the Colt is because it's just a better gun, and at least in my opinion, and probably his opinion as well. So the weight is a factor. Another reason why I don't like these guns is the hammer hurts. It actually really hurts my thumb to cock these guns. And, I'm comparing the hammers on both of these guns, and they look almost identical. There's the Colt, and there's the Remington. But the difference between the Colt is it's actually thicker, I believe. You see the hammer right there, and then the hammer over here. It's slightly thicker. The curve on the end of the hammer is slightly more curved down. This one is a little pointed more up. And another reason why the hammer hurts on this gun is because the spring tension on this is not nearly as much as the Remington. The Remington, the spring tension is unbearable. I know you can adjust it with the screw right here to adjust the tension, but the problem is if you adjust it too much, it actually messes with the cocking of the hammer. The cylinder wants to spin the other way instead of the correct way. This gun, the spring tension is so loose right now that it does cock properly, but if I, messed up the cock just a little bit, like got it half cocked and then, want to adjust it back down, it doesn't work right. So I actually need to adjust the tension on this to be a little tighter. And another reason why I don't like it is, believe it or not, it's actually harder for me to aim the gun because you have to look down the normal Remington, it doesn't have a sight like this one. It has a sight that's bored into the upper frame all the way through. And for me anyway, it's actually harder to find the sights all the way through the frame and look at the dot on the end of the barrel. On the Colt, it's a lot easier because the sight is right there on the hammer and you just look and shoot. That's just my opinion, of course. I don't know if you guys have the same opinion or not. You might actually think the Remington is better as far as sights go. So yeah, the reason why I like the Colt is it's lighter, for one. The action is just much smoother. Do you see how much easier it is for me to cock this hammer? It's like boom, boom, so much easier. It's so much easier to just hold it right here and not have any issues. With the Remington, it hurts. I don't want to hold it there that long because the spring tension sucks. So, and yeah, so that's my reasons. Another reason why I don't like the Remington is it fouls much quicker. Now, in a self-defense situation, that won't matter because you only got 6 shots. But at the shooting range, the Remington fouls a lot faster. The little pin right here is small. It doesn't have the groove channels that the Colt has that holds the bore butter or whatever you want to use. It does have a flat spot in there that will hold it. But the other issue is the cylinder rides right up against the frame, to whereas the cylinder on this rides on like a little ring, and that ring allows for more of the lubrication to allow the cylinder to spin better. Does that make any sense? I don't know if I'm making sense here, but yeah, the Remingtons foul quicker. As a matter of fact, after about 2 cylinders worth, the Remington starts to get fouled enough to where I actually have to take the cylinder out and clean it a little bit so it'll function, smoothly. The Colts, I can go like 4 or 5 cylinders worth without having to actually clean it a little bit and relubricate it. Now, the Colts, according to people online anyway, they will get cap jams more often than the Remingtons will. Maybe. My Remington and my Colt, it's about roughly the same. I've never experienced that many cap jams, to be honest. The caps on my guns, they usually will not stick to the hammer, and they usually will pop off on the sides after I cock. I notice some people will, flick the gun left or right or whatever to keep that from happening. I don't really do that. I just, shoot and cock the gun. I've never really had any cap jams yet, so maybe it's just me. But yeah, I prefer the Colt 100% over the Remington. The Remington is not something I would want to, use to protect myself or to protect others. It just doesn't seem very reliable. The hammer hurts. It's harder to aim. The gun is heavier. It's just not something I like. So now when I'm at the shooting range, all of these points are the same thing that I'm hearing when people are using my guns. So often when I go to my range, a lot of people are like, wow, that looks awesome. It sounds great. And, they've never seen black powder before. And I always offer to people like, hey, you want to shoot them. So I'll load it for them. And I'll take the cylinder out and I'll let them, handle the gun. I'll show them how to aim it and so forth, and keep their fingers away, because a lot of people like to keep their fingers up here for some reason. You got to keep your finger away from the barrel, etc. So once I show them how to shoot it, I put the cylinder back in and I let them have at it. And after they shoot the Remington, and then they shoot, and it's not a Bison Remington, it's the normal Remington. After they shoot the Remington and the Colt, I'll ask them, which one do you prefer? And 100% of the time, every single time, they will prefer the Colt. And the reason why is because it's lighter, the hammer is easier to shoot, the action is smoother. It's the same reason. And these are people who don't know anything about these guns. They will tell me the same thing that I have as far as complaints go for Remington. So, again, even newbies like the Colts better. My mom, she's 64 years old, and when she shot these guns, she hated the Remington. So she definitely preferred the Colt. And so I'm a little confused if everybody I've had shoot these guns, and this is probably like 20, 30 people have had shoot these guns, if they all choose the Colt, then why am I always seeing such a huge Colt following on, or Remington following online? So if you guys like Remingtons, explain to me why you like the Remington better than the Colt. I really would like to know. And please don't tell me a stupid reason like it's got a full frame. I mean, you don't need a full frame for a black powder gun. So having a full frame and a stronger gun, whatever, that's not really a reason to why you like the gun better. Why do you like the gun better? What is the functionality of the gun that you like over the Colt? Is it easier to use for you as far as cocking the hammer goes? Do you have less cap jams with the Remington? I mean, what is the reason why you like the Remington over the Colt? I'm actually genuinely curious. So, anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. And again, please let me know which one you prefer, Colt or Remington. So my choice is the Colt, and my mom's choice is the Colt, and everybody that I've met at the shooting range chooses the Colt. So thanks again, and hope you guys have a great day.